Games are inherently interactive, but often games with stories have cinematic sections where the player has no control. The use of cinematics and cutscenes annoys some people, since they do not want to lose control of the character. However, cinematics are a valid tool for telling a story, and can offer cinematic graphic tools to better tell a story than the normal gameplay experience can. While it is true that cinematics and cutscenes have the negative aspect of taking away control from the player, I believe that they are still a valid and valuable tool, which makes the criticism of their use subject more to player preference and game specifics, and not to them being an objectively bad storytelling tool. Cinematics have the advantage and disadvantage of being able to control the game's camera and the game's characters, including the player's character. While some people find it breaks immersion to take away control from the player, or annoys them because they still want control during any kind of storytelling segment, allowing the player to control the camera and characters during these scenes might be just as immersion breaking and hurt the storytelling. When a player is talking to another character, for example, the player might be able to do illogical things such as jumping or running in circles, which would not make sense in the context of the story. The characters can also be forced to act or do things that the player is not able to do because of limitations of the game engine, enhancing the cinematic experience. One could argue that the player should be able to do these things on their own, but short of a QuickTime event, this could be very hard for the programmers to implement. And even if they did, the player might not use such a tool when it was intended to be used to create a storytelling effect. These effects could also be things that the player would not normally need to control, such as gestures or looking at a specific character, or sitting down. Even if the player was able to perform the actions that would have happened in the cinematic, cinematics have the advantage of being able to show these things from specific angles and animating the characters in specific predetermined ways. It could be possible to create a cutscene out of a player-driven experience. However, this would be quite complicated as it would need to dynamically react to what the player does and create the cinematic. I believe that the idea that since games are interactive means that they must be entirely interactive is a fallacy. This is only a positive thing to some people based on their preferences. I do not believe that there is any measurable objective benefit to games being more interactive. It can help or hurt a game. It is valid for games to use cinematics to tell a story, even though some people may like it while others do not, and it should be used only when it fits the game.